Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Mikoto Fell in Love with Naruto. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was exiled from the Uzumaki clan and enjoy that guys over on Anime King 3. And also remember, if anyone this is the first time you hear my voice, stay tuned for Anime King, and also I did have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, the both of them woke up, as Naruto was woken up by the beautiful sight of seeing Mikoto. As they sat there, as the both of them told each other good morning, things seemed to escalate, as they weren't done from the night before. They escalated to the point of no return. Once they were finished, as she hopped into the shower, as Naruto went to retrieve their clothing from the laundry. As he got everything and was making his way, Sakura arrived. And he was stuck. As Sakura saw the woman clothing on top of the basket, as she screamed at him for being a pervert, punching him right through his door, as Naruto collapsed there. Mikoto was coming out at the same time with a towel wrapped around her, as she saw Naruto and the broken door. She was confused as she looked towards Sakura. Good thing that Sakura did not know Sasuke's mother, or this thing would have been blown wide open. As Sakura was confused, as she wondered who that was, as Mikoto introduced herself as Naruto's girlfriend, Sakura was taken aback as she quickly apologized and left, saying that she would wait for him. As Naruto looked towards the broken door, the landlord was already pissed off with him at broken things. He sighed. Well, the man would take care of it as he went by to tell him about it. As him and Mikoto split up, as he told her that he will be back soon, he didn't know how long the mission will take though. So with that he met up with Sakura. She wanted to know who that was, as Naruto told her the fake name that he has been, well, introducing Mikoto at when they went to the restaurant. As Sakura was still a bit stunned. As when they got to the office, Sasuke was there. This was a mission for Team 7 it seems, as they were all reuniting once again. As they worked to deal with a couple of bandits that had been threatening a town, and there was quite a lot of them, some of them being missing names. As they took the mission, Sakura told Tsunade about what she had saw at Naruto's apartment, and Tsunade and Mikoto was friends as Tsunade started to do some investigating while they were gone. The group had went on the trip as Naruto had spoke to Sasuke about him always leaving, and his mother was, well, she must be lonely, as Naruto tried to play it cool. As Sasuke simply told him that he would take watch. They arrived to the land of snow as they made their way. They took care of the bandits, and with that they came back to the village. Once everything was done and said, as Tsunade asked to speak to Naruto alone, once the other two was gone, she started to ask him random questions, and she asked him, how was Mikoto? As Naruto slipped, as he said that she was wonderful, as Tsunade called him dead hand. As Naruto asked her how she knew, as she figured out, after all, Mikoto has been rather happy lately. Something had changed. As Naruto thought that he was in trouble, not really thinking about the whole situation as he realized, what would he be in trouble for? As he thought that things had been busted for some reason. But Tsunade was all for it. As if she was happy and if Naruto was happy, well then Tsunade was happy as well. Well, when Sasuke finds out, there will be a bit of a problem. So they will have to sort that out, as Naruto knew that part. Sasuke caught up with him though and told him that his mother's birthday as Naruto was invited. As Naruto also saw Sasuke talking to the receptionist as well. Seems like things were happening between them. As Naruto got a wonderful gift from Mikoto. It was a bracelet, a necklace, and a ring. As they link with each other, the chakra inside of them linked together. When he pumped chakra into the ring, the necklace glowed. When Naruto got back to his apartment, he was evicted. As Naruto cursed the landlord, was not going to rent to any more ninja, too much property damage. As Naruto sighed in annoyance and got his things, throwing the key so hard that it ripped right into the door of the landlord's house. But this might be a blessing in disguise, as he made his way towards the Uchiha complex. Arriving there, Sasuke wondered what's up with the gift. As Naruto asked for the birthday girl, Mikoto was coming soon, so they decided to hide. Well, Naruto decided to hide. Sasuke found it childish, as Mikoto came in confused by the lights being off. So yeah guys, that's basically last one left off. You guys can switch across the blade, check it out for yourself. So what do you say begin this new episode? Surprise! Said Naruto. Sasuke also said it, but with far less enthusiasm. Mikoto had a hand in her chest and a smile on her face. Hello boys, what a surprise. Naruto poked Sasuke with his elbow and gave him. I told you, look. Happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday, Mrs. Uchiha. Thank you, you two. It's nice to see you again, Naruto. It's been a while, she said. That it has. It's nice to see you as well. How has your day been? Great so far, she said. I just bought the last of what I need today. Sasuke walked over and took the bag. We'll take it from here, Mom, he said. She was happy to hear that. Thanks again. I'll go change into something more comfortable. As she disappeared into her room, moments after, as Naruto turned to see the handle of the kitchen knife in his face, as he grabbed it, as Sasuke had one of his own. Is this the only reason why you want me to come? To help you cook, Naruto asked. Not the only reason, but yeah. This is the second time I had to chop things while in your house. Anymore. And I'll start to charge a catering fee. You're already being paid, said Sasuke. Really? How? You get to eat what you make. And you really think that will be sufficient payment, said Naruto. Well, if the soap isn't enough, the cake that we will make will be. Oh, we're making a cake. Well, that would be plenty sufficient, said Naruto. As the both of them start to get to work. After a while they heard a squeaking of the door as they turned. As Naruto's eyes widened briefly. She was in a sundress that ended right above her knees. She was holding a long brim straw hat as she placed it down. As she sat down on one of the stools as she watched it to work, Sasuke shifted his focus toward the stove as he placed the pot on. As Naruto had slipped some ingredients in the pot on Sasuke's request as he spoke. Planning on going outside soon, Mrs. Uchiha. It felt really strange for him to address her as such, but his hands were tied. He had to be as formal as possible. I am, she said. It's such a nice day outside, so I decided to enjoy it. I think I'll tend to my plants outside. It's been a while since they've been watered, by me or the rain. Sounds fun. It is. You said the last time you were here you had an interesting garden. Did you not, she asked, as Naruto turned to face her. I did actually. I just never had the opportunity to dive into it. Well, how would you like to give it a try for a bit, she said. I would love to, Sasuke. Do you need my help right now? Or can I go and help your mother? I have it covered for now, said Sasuke. Alright then, said Naruto. We won't be long, honey, said Mikoto as she looked towards her son, as she placed her straw hat on, as the two of them exited the outside. As the watering pot was there waiting as Naruto picked it up. But Mikoto did not stop as she continued to walk as she turned the corner, as Naruto made his way. The moment he turned the corner he was pulled down. As some water splashed out of the bucket, splashing her feet as she pulled his head down, but neither of them cared in the slightest as their lips connected. The kiss deepened as Naruto dropped the water pot. Her hands went around his head, his hands going around her waist, as she jumped up and wrapped her legs around his waist, as he held on to her, as they made up for lost time, as the both of them breathed for air, their face red and flushed, as they panted a bit. I missed you, she said, as Naruto set her down. I can see that. I missed you too, babe. She smiled. I could barely contain my excitement when I saw you jump from behind the couch. I didn't expect to see you while Sasuke was home. Well, he invited me to celebrate your birthday, so of course I would show up. It was such a surprise to see you. He left me completely in the dark about you coming. I heard. Did he tell you that he decided to spend more time at home? By the reaction on her face, it seems like she wasn't aware of it. as Naruto felt the joy radiating from her, as he felt happy. Did you have something to do with it, she asked, as he shrugged in response. I told you I would try, didn't I? As she quickly wrapped her arms around him, her hat pushed off, as she hugged him tight. Naruto caught the hat as he held it against her back. Thank you, she said. I would do it 1,000,000 times over again. Cause I love you, said Naruto. I love you too, she said. As they share another kiss. As they heard the door sliding. As they parted away from one another, hiding their actions. As she grabbed the watering pail and leaned over towards her flowers as Naruto watched. As he realized he had her hat as he tossed it, it landed on her head perfectly. As Sasuke came around the corner, a second later. And you don't want to water your plants too much. It all depends on what it is. But the general rule is that you damp the ground, not drench it. Damp, not drench. Got it, said Naruto. Hi you two, said Sasuke. Oh hey Sasuke, do you need help? I finished the soup, so you two can come back in when you're ready. Wonderful, said Mikoto. I'm hungry. As they went back inside, casual talking here and there, as they enjoyed the soup. After that was done, as Naruto and Sasuke got to making the cake, as Mikoto watched, the baking went off without a hitch. Following tradition, as Mikoto blew out the candle and made her wish. As they dug in, once that was over, they migrated towards the living room. As Naruto's eyes drifted towards his box, he was reminded of his housing situation. As he spoke, hey Sasuke. Yeah? Remember how I brought a box? Well, those scrolls are kind of all my possessions. Both Uchihas paused at that. And why exactly do you bring them with you? It's a funny story actually, said Naruto. You see, I was, evicted. Evicted? Said Mikoto. Yeah. Seems that the landlord had enough of me, said Naruto as he scratched his cheek. It was only a matter of time, Sasuke said, as a blonde glared at him. So, I'm out of a place to stay, and I was wondering if I could... As Naruto left the sentence open. If you could stay here, Sasuke said. Yeah, if it's not a problem. Just until I find a new place. I'm good with that, it's up to my mom though. As Naruto was surprised that he did not hesitate. Mikoto was too. As both men turned towards her, she simply smiled. It would be nice having two boys to look after again, she said. Thank you, Mrs. Uchiha, said Naruto. I'll find a way to repay your hospitality in full. As Naruto gave her a look. You're too kind, she said. Let me go get some wine to toast our new addition, she said. She came back a moment later with the bottle of wine and the glasses as she poured for each of them. They all clicked their glass together. Cheers. As they drank and drank until Sasuke started to get tipsy. As Naruto had his furry little pal to stop him from going over the edge. And Mikoto was used to this. I'm gonna go... As a grin split Sasuke's face. Sweep, he said, slurring his words for sleep. As he sat up and strayed to his room, balanced himself on the wall. They heard a crash when he entered his room. Sasuke, are you okay? Said Mikoto. I'm fine, said Sasuke, as he collapsed on the bed. The moment Sasuke collapsed, Mikoto jumped over towards Naruto as she straddled his waist. As Naruto looked towards the door, what if Sasuke comes back out? Don't worry, she said. He won't be coming back out for a while. I spiked his wine. Oh, you naughty girl, said Naruto. As she leaned forward, ouch, she said. What, said Naruto? Oh, something in your jeans pulled me, she said. I think that is your fault, Maiko, said Naruto. As she felt something else in his pocket. What's this, she asked. Oh, that's for you. As he pulled out the small box and handed it to her. As he gestured for her to open it, as she did, she gasped at the necklace. As she took it from the box, as she placed on to see how it felt, as Naruto slipped on the ring and pulled stronger in it, as the entire dim room got lightened with a romantic red color. Happy birthday, love, said Naruto. As she started to kiss him. Let's go to my room, she said. It was more of a demand than a suggestion, one that Naruto was happy to oblige. Lead the way, he said. Time skip. When Naruto woke up, his vision was blocked by all the strands of hair in his face. His arm draped over her like a warm towel. He flexed his arm and pulled her closer. He took a deep breath as the sleepiness slowly faded away. As he was now wide awake, as he enjoyed the situation that he found himself into, small rays of light seeped into the bedroom. It was bright enough to be early morning, and there were birds singing outside as well. It was a perfect morning. Really perfect. As Naruto looked down towards her, wondering how did he got so lucky. I love you, he whispered. I love you too. He was surprised, as he thought that she was asleep. As he sat back, as she turned towards him with a smile on her face. Morning, beautiful, he said. She leaned up and gave him a kiss, which he returned. Good morning, she said, as she pulled back down. As she leaned over, as her head rested on his chest. As they stayed like that for a minute or two until Naruto spoke up. What's the chance of Sasuke being awake? She looked towards the clock as well, at the nightstand. With the amount I gave him, I would say that he still has an hour of involuntary sleep left. Really? Damn, said Naruto. Why do you even have that stuff? As she looked up towards him. Womanly secret, she said. Tch, you and Snelly both, huh, said Naruto. As he recalled the time that Sasuke was on the same thing that Jiraiya was on as well. Well, at least this one wouldn't mess with Sasuke chakra system. Who do you think I learned it from, said Mikoto. Well, that make a lot more sense now. You and her are pretty close, huh, said Naruto. We are. I visited her almost daily while you were gone. I thought as much, said Naruto. Why do you ask, she said. Well, she was telling me how she knew about us. She does, as her voice raised in surprise, and a small amount of worry. As Naruto calmed her down. Yes, but it's all good. She's completely cool with it, said Naruto. That's great, she said. But how does she know? I didn't mention a word about you. Well, she did some digging, along with a tip from Sakura. The painkiller girl, huh? As Mikoto frowned a bit. Sakura did not give her the best impression. Yeah, she told Granny about how I was seeing you. The pieces clicked together after that. As Mikoto sighed, it's kind of strange. But at least now I know that it's not a complete secret. At least someone I trust knows. Yeah, I felt like some weight was also lifted off my chest as well. As he pulled himself up as she did the same. As Naruto stretched, he gathered his clothes and put them on as she did the same. Are you ready to start the day? As they exit the room, Sasuke was nowhere to be found. As Naruto was relieved, he still had a bit of worry. But Mikoto was right. He must have still been sound asleep. As they began their day by going into making some coffee. As they pressed the button, they had to wait. His arm was wrapped around by her own as they relaxed. As her head leaned against his shoulder and his head rested on top of hers. It had been a while since they had the time to be this intimate. Much too long for them. They were making up for all the time lost when he was out on his mission. Eventually, as the machine started to beep, as Mikoto pulled out 3 mugs from the cupboard. As she looked through the window as Naruto stood behind her, his arms wrapped around her waist. As they looked out towards the beautiful trees. As Naruto released a sigh of relief. It's good to be home, he said, as she held on to his hands on her waist. Welcome home, she said, as Naruto's heart swelled with an unfamiliar feeling, but he welcomed it with all of his heart. It was not the first time she made him feel a way that he hasn't before. I could get used to hearing that, he said. The both of them heard jingling metal as they separated from one another, as Mikoto tended to the mugs as she filled them up. As Sasuke appeared from the hallway, as he was holding onto his head, as he propped onto a stool. You went a bit overboard last night, did you? Said Naruto. As Sasuke groaned. What even was that stuff, Sasuke said, as he rubbed his head trying to soothe his headache. Just a little wine, said Mikoto, as she placed on the 3 mugs. As Sasuke reached out and chose one, and he was grateful for it. Whatever it was, I don't want any more of it. I woke up, without knowing where I was for a few seconds. Well, we've all been there before, said Naruto. Mikoto hid her smile behind her mug, as she took a sip. A few minutes passed by with mainly Naruto and Mikoto exchanging words, as Sasuke just grunted every now and then, still a bit hangover. Well, he was not known to offer more than grunts anyway, so maybe there wasn't a change there. As Sasuke finished first, looking a bit better than before, as he released a sigh of relief, feeling a bit better. So, got any plans for today? Sasuke paused as he searched his mind for the answer. He was still slightly groggy, so it took him a while to answer. Yes, eventually. Cool, what are they? I was gonna go train later today. What about you? Well, I was gonna unpack some things today. Get some things in order. I'm not planning on being here long, but I might as well get comfortable, you know? That's fair. As long as you don't get too comfortable squatting in our house. Naruto's fate being struck by his words as he recoiled. As Mikoto entered the conversation, he can squat around as much as he like. Naruto's a great guest to have. The house is a lot more lively, she said. There's a big difference between lively and just loud, said Sasuke. As Naruto gripped his chest, your words, they cut so deep. As Sasuke saw Naruto smile, and he smiled as well, as the both of them shared a chuckle. It definitely would be a bit more interesting with you living here. I'm glad I could help, said Naruto. As Sasuke picked himself up. Well, I'm about to get going soon. Have fun unpacking. As Sasuke turned towards his mother. Do you have anything that needs to be done? I can go do it while I'm out. Oh no, I don't need anything. Thank you though, she said. He nodded as he went to his room to grab a few things. As she took the empty mugs and washed them out. By the time she finished that, Sasuke was moving towards the door. He shook 2 fingers at them and saying goodbye, while in his own cool way. I'll be back soon, he said. As the both of them told him goodbye, as he made his way off. As both Mikoto and Naruto stood there, as they looked at the knob to see if Sasuke would come back in for something. But after a while nothing happened, as the both of their demeanor changed. So, wanna help me unpack some things? Sure, she said. It was a short walk to the room, but she still took his hand. As they went to the guest room that would now be his room. It was in the same condition it was when Naruto last stayed there. As they sat on the bed as Naruto fished into the box, he pulled out the first scroll as he read the label, before he placed it back in the box. He reached in for another one as he read it, as he unsealed the contents, as it was a basket full of his clothing. As him and Mikoto then started to go through the box. With each one that she grabbed, she read the label out loud, as Naruto gave the verdict on if it was something that was necessary. The ones with no use right now were set down beside the box, so they would not mix up with the one that they haven't go through yet. As she grabbed a small scroll. Top secret, she said. That was what the label said. As Naruto heard her as he reached to grab a scroll, but she pulled her hand away. Hey, he said. As she saw his reaction, a smile came on her face as she held it to her chest. What's in here, huh? She asked. Oh, nothing important, he said. As he tried to get the item, but she wiggled away, just in time. Really? But why would you label it top secret then? As Naruto started to chase her around the small room, a rather comical scene. As Mikoto stopped, her fingers laced with chakra, she pointed toward the seal. As Naruto stopped and raised his hand in surprise. Let's not get ahead of herself, he said, as he started to approach her. One more step and I open it, she said. You wouldn't, he said, as her smirk seemed to increase. Try me. So he did. As he moved, as she pressed her finger to the seal. But nothing happened. As she looked towards her fingers confused. That gave Naruto the opportunity to strike. As he closed the distance and tackled her. They fell on the bed. As Naruto held onto her arm that gripped the scroll. Well, said Naruto as he looked down towards her, as he had her hands pinned. You're in quite the predicament right now, he said. Am I? She said. Her response threw him for a loop. Yeah, I mean he was cut off as she leaned up and kissed him. She then pulled back. What was that for? Said Naruto. Do I need a reason? She asked. Well, not really, as he leaned on and gave her a kiss. As the both of them sat down inside the bed. He held out his hand and she gave him a scroll. So what's in there? She said. As Naruto opened the scroll. As he revealed an alarm clock. She was confused. That's it, she said. Yep, said Naruto. Then what's with the label? I reused scrolls a lot of times, said Naruto. Oh, she said. So this had something top secret in it? Yep. What was it? She asked. Well, it's kind of top secret, said Naruto. As she pouted. Well, if the alarm clock was the only thing in there, what was the big fuss? As Naruto shrugged, I thought it would be funny. You're an idiot, she said, with a smile on her face. Try again, said Naruto. I'm your idiot. Now, can we get to unpacking the room that I'll spend less time in than yours? As Mikoto organized his clothing in the dressers, they then opened his bedding materials and made his bed up together. When they were done, they sat on bed side by side. As the room felt like it was alive. This room is starting to feel like a bedroom, you know? And I may never want to move out, he said, with a grin on his face. Well, I wouldn't mind, she said. After hearing her words, as Naruto thought about it, he loved the idea of living so close to her. But would it last? Or would it even work? As a grim thought popped into his head, we're not going to be able to keep this a secret for much longer. Especially since I'm living here, and Sasuke's going to be around much more often. It's only a matter of time, he said. As she took in his words, as the both of them sat there in silence for a while. I know. What can we do, she said. I don't really know, he said, but I'm hoping for the best. As he held her hand and gave her a reassuring squeeze, as he looked her in the eye. As long as I'm with you, he said. She gave him a smile. We'll take it one day at a time, giving to our best. How does that sound? I like that. Great. It would give me enough time to come up with some kind of plan for the inevitable. The both of them went quiet at the thoughts, as they feared the happiness that they found with each other would somehow get lost. As Naruto saw that she was getting sad by the thought, as he decided to change her mind about it. Hey babe. She said. You wanna help me break in the bed? As she chuckled a bit. You're so cheesy. Well, said Naruto, that isn't a no. As she smiled at his comment. Time skip. It had been roughly a month since Naruto was evicted from the apartment that he had called home for a majority part of his life. But despite him living there so long, he had not once even thought about the place since crashing at the Uchiha compound. He became acclimated to the situation that he was living in, and he also kind of preferred it. There was something here that he has been missing his entire life up until now. A family. Whether he was far away on a mission or in the forest training, his mind always drifted on his new living condition. His face always quickened with a smile whenever the house came into view, as he always wanted to say I'm home and be greeted by either of the Uchihas. It was something he could not experience growing up, and having it now. He had become a part of the family. It delighted him to think about that sentence. Their interactions were so welcoming. It was like he has been living here all of his life, and he wanted to hold on to it forever. But that was not to say it was all perfect. There were many nights that he was awake, stressing and thinking about their love being discovered. The threat of losing all that he had gotten. Well, that frightened him. He ran through hundreds of situations in his mind on what would happen when his secret was finally revealed. He knew that he had to come clean eventually, but the fear of Sasuke's reaction kept on clouding his mind. As he knew that he could not keep it a secret forever, that was just naive. Tonight was one of those nights, but instead of thinking about it, he was living it in a nightmare. In his dream, one of the worst possible outcomes were playing out, and Naruto was strapped in for the ride. As his body twitched as he slept, occasionally he murmured something. Despite being asleep, he was far from resting. Suddenly, his eyes snapped open, followed by a gasp as he was loud awake. As he gasped for breath, he realized that he was in his room. As he realized that it was a dream, a rather stressful dream, but his state did not falter. As he was burning up under the bed covers, as he flipped it off, as he swung his legs over the bed, as he looked down towards the floor, as he could feel his heartbeat. It was loud, as he could also hear it. As he could hear it in his ears. He could not stand any longer as he got up to escape the room that was suffocating him. His hand bucked with the doorknob for a few seconds, unable to keep a steady grip on the handle. As he finally opened it and stepped outside, as he made his way to the kitchen as he got a glass, as he turned on the tap and filled the water up, as he drank it all without catching a breath. Some of the water dampened his shirt, but it did not bother him, as he placed the glass down, as he wiped his mouth and cleared his throat, as he could feel himself calming down, as he was getting calmer and calmer. A hand then fell on his shoulder in a state he did not even notice. As Naruto slowly turned, he felt the hand. As he saw that it was... "What's wrong, honey?" said Mikoto. As Naruto looked at her like she was an apparition, her eyebrow raised and crinkled, confused. He closed the distance and pulled her into a tight hug. She could feel his heartbeat beating against her chest, as he was in distress. As she rested his head on her shoulder, as they stood there in the barely lit kitchen, as they stayed like that until his heartbeat slowed down towards the normal rate. A moment after, he pulled his head back, as he backed up a bit. "Look at me," he said, as he calmed himself, getting all worked up like that. As Mikoto was worried, she has never seen a state like this before. "Do you want to talk about it?" she offered. There was a brief pause. He first nodded, he then spoke. "Yeah," he said. Usually, he would bear things by himself and not trouble his loved ones, but this was intertwined with her, so he made an exception. He walked towards the couch in the living room as he sat in the soft cushion. She did the same as she leaned on him. As Naruto collected his thoughts, as Naruto explained to her what got him so riled up, she listened, as she sympathized with him. She also had similar fears. That made him feel justified. Once he had vented enough, he felt a lot better. They were already side by side. He placed the arm around her to pull her closer. I don't want to lose what I have here, he whispered. I don't want to lose what you brought into my life either, she said. But we can't just sit idly by and wait for the problem to float away. It won't. So we might as well take control of the situation. Being terrified of what might happen is no way to live. You're right. I don't know how I let it get this far. It isn't like me to be afraid to do anything. From now on, I'll actually think about a plan on how we're gonna break news to Sasuke, or my name isn't Naruto. As he gave her hand a squeeze to show his new phone dedication, she squeezed his hand back with a smile. That's more like the man I fell in love with, she said, as he gave her his thanks. The both of them shared a goodnight kiss as they separated. As Naruto's confidence was there, this time when he had dreams it was a lot different. As he saw 12 bowls of ramen having a party as they invite him, they also let him eat them as well, as he danced and eat them as well. The more he eat, the more the ramen fill up. He then walked as he saw the city of ramen. Nothing but flying ramen. The ground was ramen, the trees was ramen. The whole place was ramen. Tears came in his eyes as he dropped to his knees and started to eat the ground. But that dream was short-lived. As Naruto was eating the ramen castle, the alarm went off. As Naruto's hand came up and shut the clock off. As he pulled himself up in a sitting position. As he yawned, he didn't feel rested at all, as he just wanted to sink back down in his pillow and have a longer sleep. It was an enticing prospect, but the alarm had a reason why it woke him up. As he picked out some clothes and made his way to the bathroom, as he caught his reflection in the mirror, he noticed a dark line under his eyes. He yawned while shaking his head, as he promised himself to catch up on some sleep some other time. With all of his clothes off, he stepped in towards the shower, as he held onto the dial. As the water then came out, as Naruto screamed. If the two others weren't awake, they were awake now. As Naruto moved away, the water was so goddamn cold. He reached out as it started to get warm. He then stepped forward to do what he do in the shower, by himself. And that was having a conversation with himself. Not today, he thought to himself, as he cleaned himself. After he was done, he brushed his teeth, as he got fully dressed. He then walked to the kitchen. He planned on skipping breakfast, but he wanted to get a sip of water before going out for today. Mikoto was already out there, as she was in the couch with a mug. Her legs were curled up on a chair as she was reading through some sort of booklet. As she noticed him, as she greeted him good morning, as he greeted back as Sasuke was sitting on one of his stools. He also gave Luan a good morning, as Naruto gave him back one. As Naruto filled the glass up with some water, as he took a sip. Got anything planned today, Sasuke? He said. I do. What? Wouldn't you like to know? I mean, I asked, didn't I? Said Naruto. I suppose, said Sasuke. So, you gonna answer? Perhaps, Sasuke said. Could you answer me with more than one word? Said Naruto. I guess I could, Sasuke said. As Naruto's eye twitched. So, what are you planning on doing today? Errands, said Sasuke. As Naruto stepped forward. I'm gonna strangle your chicken neck. You duck ass here, said Naruto. Mom, Naruto's being mean. The voice was not filled with any distress though. Naruto, stop being mean, said Mikoto. As Naruto deflated her words, as Sasuke smirked, as Naruto shook his head, he would get him back later. He then switched to Mikoto. What about you, Mikoto? Anything planned, he said. I do actually, and I'll even tell you, unlike my son. I'm gonna go see Tsunade. Oh? Why is that, he said. If you don't mind me asking, he said. It's nothing too serious, but I haven't been feeling the best I can be, for a little bit. I'm overdue for a checkup as well. As Naruto raised his eyebrow in surprise, he didn't know that she was not feeling 100%. Alright. I hope it's all okay, he said. I'm sure it will be. So, what's on the agenda for you today, she asked. I'm gonna be training with some friends, working on team tactics and some stuff. Fun, she said. Are you leaving soon? Naruto nodded. I'll be out for most of the day, he said, as he dropped his glass off. Have fun out there, she said. I'll try. Don't die, said Sasuke. I'll try not to on that one either, said Naruto. See ya, as he made his way. When Naruto arrived at the training ground, he arrived to see Shikamaru as he was sitting down under a tree, watching the clouds. As Naruto took a smile and told him that it was good to see him, as Shikamaru greets them as they made their way over the others, who were already settling down, cracking smiles and jokes. As Kiba was the first to speak up, "What's up, Naruto, Shikamaru?" "Not much," the blonde said. As Shikamaru came down and sat down as they returned, looking back at the clouds, as Choji Shino also stood on logs as well, as Choji was sharing some of his snacks with Akamaru, as Shino gave an acknowledging nod. It's been a while since he's seen them, so they all started to catch up. But he was acting a bit reserved, especially since he was always usually outgoing. As Naruto knew the reason though, his mind wasn't that completely free of what he tried to leave at home, as his friends noticed his damp demeanor, as Kiba tried to shake him out of it. "It's been a while, hasn't it, pisshead," he said, trying to jolt Naruto into a little tug of fight. "For sure," said Naruto. "So, what have you been up to lately?" As Shikamaru took a sniff of the blonde, his face curled up into a smile. "Nothing much, missions and..." "You still boning the MILF," said Kiba, cutting off Naruto. Everyone's head turned towards them. Kiba had told him about Naruto's first exhibit, but they had shook it off as a joke. As Naruto felt his back of his neck warming up, all of the eyes just focused on him. Even Nakamura seemed to be interested, as Naruto decided to rule off the comment and make it just into a joke. "Yeah, tons of them. Your mom's next on my list, Kiba." "What the hell?" said Kiba as he backtracked. "Not gonna lie, man," said Naruto, "your mom. I mean, damn. What is she doing rocking around with all that?" As Kiba covered his ears, "I'm not listening to you," he said. As Choji started to laugh, even Shino seemed a bit amused, as Shikamaru was watching the entire thing with a smirk. As Kiba removed his hands. "That wasn't funny," he said. "I don't know," said Naruto. Everyone else seemed to like it. "Whatever, let's get this show on the road. Shikamaru, who's your first pick?" "Naruto," said Shikamaru, as Kiba nodded. "Perfect. That makes kicking his ass rather easier. I'll pick Choji. Shino, are you cool with being the third party in this scenario?" "I've often wanted to be sometimes. It offers me a dynamic I don't usually train with." "I like it," said Choji. "Last time I did, I had a lot of fun." "Alright, let's get to it," as everyone nodded, as Shino jumped away from the group first. The two groups then separated, as Naruto and Shikamaru went in some dense foliage, as Naruto checked around before he sat down, with Shikamaru to come up with a game plan. "What's the plan, Shika? Are we gonna be the aggressive ones this time? Or are we gonna be the slow and quick thinking team?" "Well, since Kiba won't take a shot at you this time, I'd like to let you choose." "Cool. I think we should set an ambush up for them, but only after they secure Shino. Some kind of diversion separate them from him." "Well, as long as you can set up, I'm all for it." "I like that attitude. Are we ready?" "Yeah, but one question first." "Huh? What is it?" said Naruto. "Does Sasuke know about you and his mom?" As Naruto froze. As Naruto turned towards Shikamaru, despite asking that question, he didn't seem to care. "I've been piecing this together for a while now. Those questions you asked me back in the sand had me curious to why you'd want any advice from me. Then Kiba wouldn't stop talking about how you were sleeping around the older woman, and that intrigued me. Normally, I wouldn't care, but since it was you, I figured that it was more dynamic than just seeing women. After that, I did a mission with Ino, who's a gossip queen, and she got some from Sakura. She mentioned how the woman that you were seeing looks similar to Sasuke, and that is when I formed this theory. And your reaction just now confirmed for me, although I'm wondering how it came to be. Just curious. I'm not trying to pry any further." Naruto sighed. He doesn't know yet. "Well," Shikamaru says he got up. "It'll be rather interesting when he finds out." "Tell me about it," said Naruto. "I just want to get over with. I'm sure you've dug yourself quite the hole. It would be quite interesting to see you climb out of it unscathed. Now, let's get on with the more pressing matter, beating Kiba and Choji." As the both of them got to work, time skip, Naruto wiped the sweat off his brow as he opened his canteen and drank some water. The clouds were dark blue above their heads, but the sun was setting, as it was a pinkish orange where the sun was setting. As Kiba came over exhausted, as Kiba flopped onto the ground, a long sigh escaped from him as he leaned on the soft grass. "You put up a good fight today, idiot," he said. Kiba was correct. It may have been the joke that Naruto pulled earlier about Kiba was rather ferocious. He fought with an ire that he has never seen before. As Naruto enjoyed it, good fights, one of the main things that he liked to enjoy. Yeah, same to you. Too bad Chino pulled a sneaky one on us, said Naruto, as he turned his head over and looked towards his friend. Yeah, he almost scared the piss out of me. Kiba joked, but there was a twinge of truth behind the sentence. They shared a laugh as the three others walked over to join them. Shikamaru was always known for cloud watching, as he collapsed on the grass, looking toward the sky, as he placed his hands behind his head as a pillow, as Choji sat down. As Shino sat on a log, the group rolled into chatting amongst each other. Their outing together had decreased, so whenever they had a chance to catch up, they took it. As they started to hear crickets and the night creatures, as they realized how late they've gotten. The friends said their goodbyes to one another as they hid their way. As Naruto was making his way through Konoha, as he kicked a stone. As Naruto was walking by a store where he took Mikoto, while they were disguised. As Naruto walked past, before he stopped and backtracked. He must be seeing things, right? No, he must be seeing things. As Naruto looked through the window of the store, he was right. Sasuke was sitting in there. Across from him was Mimurai. They were just settling to their chairs, after being brought there by a waiter. As a wide smile came under their lips, never in a million years did he thought he would catch his friend doing anything other than training and missions. By the looks of it, Sasuke was enjoying himself. It was actually unbelievable what he was smiling. Naruto had to pinch himself a couple times to make sure it wasn't some illusion or something like that. He even went as far as to cancel the genjutsu, but it wasn't. He was tempted to bust in there and make a scene, just to watch Sasuke freak out, but a thought popped into his mind. If Sasuke was here, that meant, as Naruto vanished, as he moved through the village with such speed, it only took him seconds. As he arrived towards the Uchiha compound, as he arrived at the door, as he opened it, "Hey, I'm home," he said. As Mikoto's voice came from the kitchen. "Welcome back," she said. "Did you have fun?" As Naruto came around to see her, smile on his face. "I did," he said. As she was holding a glass of water and a book in her hand, as she settled it down and sat down on the couch, as she looked over him. "You're filthy," she said. "You sure had a good time, didn't you?" "Yeah, it got pretty rough out there today," said Naruto. "Did Sasuke show up?" she asked. "No, he never showed up at the training ground, but I did see him somewhere else." "Is that so? Where was he?" she asked. "You wouldn't believe it, but I saw him. On a date." She recalled at that as she blinked in surprise. "Are you sure?" "Yeah. With a girl, no less." "Who was he with?" said Mikoto. "It better not be that soccer gal." No. It's the receptionist at the Hokage's tower. A civilian." "Wait, Mimurai?" "Yeah, you know her," said Naruto. "Yeah, we talk every now and then, when I went to visit Tsunade." She slammed her open palm with her fist, as realization hit her. "What is it?" said Naruto. "That is why she was giddy this morning when I went. I could barely get a sentence out of her, without her zoning out and giggling." Well, that would explain it. It was probably why Sasuke was also dodging questions this morning as well. He didn't want to get embarrassed. Well, he didn't want to give me anything to tease him over, said Naruto. "Well, I'm glad that he's giving her a shot. She deserves it. Tsunade tell me that she's been an unbelievable help, and a good employee and a friend." "I believe it. Speaking of Tsunade, how did your checkup with her go?" The question hung in the air a bit longer than Naruto expected, but she answered, "It went well. I'm in perfect health actually. Except..." As she looked towards the front door. "Except what?" said Naruto. As she gestured for him to come closer, and he did. "I have a huge libido," she said. As Naruto pulled back, as he saw the smirk on her face. "Well, I could have told you that. I thought it was something serious with the way you were acting though." "Is me being a sex addict not serious?" she said. "Well, not as far as I'm concerned. I would rather prefer that." She swatted him on the shoulder. "You're crazy." "Me? Crazy?" "You're the sex addict here," said Naruto. She swung her legs over his to straddle his waist. "You want to do it as often as I do, mister," she said. "Well, I'm a dude, so there's a high chance that I will never not be in the mood. Besides, have you seen you?" said Naruto. "I've got to get my time in with you, before heaven realizes that you're missing." "Did you just call me an angel?" she asked. "I think I did," he said. "That's so corny." "You almost ruined the mood," she said. "Almost?" said Naruto. "Yeah, almost," she said, as she leaned forward, as their lips touched together and entwined. Things started to get a bit heated on the couch, but Naruto stopped it. "Hey, what are the odds of Sasuke coming home tonight?" She sat up and looked towards the door as well. Hopefully next to zero. Why? I'm a little worried he's gonna walk in on us. I doubt it, since he's with Mimurai. Oh yeah, do you think you'll get lucky tonight? As Naruto realized what he was saying. I'd rather not think about my son in that contest, she said. Oh, right, said Naruto. You worrying about him barging in. Remind me though, do you have some plan? When he's gonna find out, she said. I do, he said. At least I think I have one that's gonna work out. You don't sound so very confident, she said. I think it's gonna work, said Naruto. It has before in other situations. So, what's his plan for yours, she said. Simple. I'm gonna let him beat the crap out of me, said Naruto. She blinked and waited to see if he was joking or something like that. But he was not. Excuse me, she said. Well, I've been sleeping with his mother behind his back for months, so he's gonna be rather angry. And he has his right to be so. If I have to be a punching bag for a few minutes to calm him down, think I can handle it. But Mikoto didn't like that at all. That's all you can come up with, she said. Well, no. I had other ideas, but this one's the best. But that did not soothe our worries. You can't be serious, she said. How is you being a punching bag the best idea? You can get seriously hurt. Calm down, said Naruto. I know what I'm doing. I wouldn't mention it if I was going to be completely fine. Are you sure you're going to be fine? I'll be fine, said Naruto. And that's a promise. As he already thought about a way to get this, well, from dragging out too far. He wouldn't let this burn down everything. Sasuke was out with Bimra and he was happy. And he was here and he was also happy as well, with Mikoto. So he couldn't allow things to escalate towards a point of no return. He had to make sure that things remain normal afterwards. And he had the idea. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part, then do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to stay posted. Remember, share all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.